5 o'clock somehow. So let's just start all the way at the top. Man, the markets look great today. I was surprised. I keep an eye on them throughout the day and not for anything specific. Generally, I'll track them daily just to see if there's anything in the. It's an indicator to me that maybe there's news in the headlines I need to go check out about something of importance for the show. So I'm looking up today, and the Dow almost went up a full 800 points. We are within 500 points. That could be a good trading day from the all-time Dow record, NASDAQ setting records, S&P setting records. So on a day like today, you can't get too exuberant, and on down days, you can't get too fearful if you're doing long-term investing for your retirement. Most of us know that, but it's hard. It's like we know what to eat, but we're not as disciplined as we need to be, and we will blow the diet or make mistakes or get off track. You don't want to do that with your money. Sometimes you lose time. Time is money. If you've got a plan and you've got a disciplinarian as your coach, then you're on track, and they can. And that's my friend Danny Knowles at the Knowles Group. They can help you figure out when that retirement date is, how much you need, or vice versa. Sometimes they work together and then give you a plan and give you the discipline to stay in it and to keep on tracking. Don't freak out and don't get too crazy excited when the up days happen. That's great, but they're going to be down days. It's the markets. The truth is things are performing much better over time. Some of these equities do a lot better than some of the other things you will get advice to invest in. And Danny and his team know how to work that formula. He's been doing it his whole life. He's a lifelong friend of mine. I'm making a personal introduction. Y'all figure out if it's a good fit. It may not be, but I bet it will be because he's a straight shooter, and our audience just loves working with him. And I get good compliments on Danny, but one of the best I ever got was this lady called up and said, "Man, we didn't have but $50,000 because we were starting over. He treated us like we had 50 million." And then we had another listener say, "I got a pay raise." That they had been managing their funds on their own and got it over to Danny, and they got a better return. They're already in retirement. They've got control of their assets. So consider him, and y'all schedule a meeting with Danny or his sons, the other Knowles boys over there that really are so good at what they do, the knowlesgroup.com. Now, another part of your investing strategy is another client of ours, and that would be in commodities. Some of your stuff ought to be placed like they will advise you at the Knowles Group. Some of it can be in gold, silver, platinum, things you can hold that always have value, permanent value, that are transportable, tradable, fungible. All these things are important, and gold is the thing that gets the most attention. It's the sexiest metal, I think, but silver's been on a run lately, and gold's today was at sort of about 4,600 an ounce. It's nice to have a place where you can make these exchanges. You can take your unused pieces that you're not wearing anymore. Some people would call that scrap. Maybe you're just done with it in there and get fair value with gold being what it is right now. Or if you want to add to your collection, you can go in and slowly start buying and adding. And before you know it, you've got a nice stash to protect you against inflation or even just other weird things that can go down. What you do know is no matter what the other markets do, no matter what the economies do or what governments do, gold's always going to be gold. So go see Steve and get to know him there in Homewood in a great location, easy in and out, safe facility with all the security. For a landmark, we'll give you the Regions building over in Vestavia on 29th. Y'all go see him. It's Steve and the gang. Steve's just such a fun guy to talk to. He knows so much about this stuff. It's Alabama Gold Refinery, AGR, alabamagoldrefinery.com. All right, let me do a little bit of weather. We hadn't done that in a while. We don't have any severe weather coming, but we got a lot more rain on the way. We had a pretty nice day today. This evening should be pleasant. But I believe starting about tomorrow night, let me see if I can detect the hour here on this forecast. Really about 8 p.m., 9 p.m. for some of you, chances of rain starting to develop. And it's just going to pour down until sometime Saturday morning. And I think we've got another shot at it later in the weekend. And then the long-term forecasts have us having other rounds of wet weather and rain. But that's good. That's a good thing. I know all the critters like it. When we were out doing our little walk, there are a couple of different places we'll do our walk, AJ, and one of them goes by this lake, has a little bridge and a water, almost like a waterfall. When the water's running crazy, it's a pretty nice fall. The frogs and the turtles and the snakes, everybody was out the other morning after it rained, and this big old turtle showed up. And then I saw his buddy. It was on a big grassy hill. It was like a dam, an earthen dam, and it was all grass. and his buddy saw us and decided, I'm out. And he slid, like he crawled up the hill and got on his belly and just slid all the way down to the lake. I thought, that dude's having fun, man.
Yeah.
All the animals were partying because we finally got some rain. Let's talk about these earthquakes. We had fun with this earlier and we didn't get into it too far. There is so much UFO weird phenomenon stuff in the news everywhere. Now, I talked about this the other day. The politicians are talking about it. We got missing scientists connected to the NASA programs. Suddenly we're going around the moon again. All these things are happening. Then over at the mysterious Area 51 out there in, that's Arizona, isn't it? Yeah. Nevada. It's in Nevada.
You talking about Area 51?
Yeah.
New Mexico. Oh, no, is that Roswell?
I think it's in Nevada over the line from Roswell.
Yeah, all that kind of looks all kind of.
Either way, they're having earthquakes.
Yeah.
And they've had a bunch of earthquakes. And there are all kind of theories as to why. Naturally, our government has no idea what's going on. They won't say anything. But AJ called it earlier in the show that it was. Hold on, I'm trying to get this exact location. I've never been there.
It's it says it's in Groom Lake, Nevada.
Yeah, it's near Las Vegas.
It's like 85 miles north of Las Vegas.
Now, seismic activity wouldn't be a surprise. I mean, that's that part of the country where they have seismic activity. But the reports, I think they've had 27 earthquakes in just the last several hours. And there was another one this morning that got a lot of attention. Are the aliens bolting? Are they leaving? Are they up? Are they out?
They say, I'm done.
They've been discovered. They're about to be outed by Paulina Luna, whatever her name is. Paulina Luna, lady from the Congress, who's all over it. She is filing FOIAs. She's wanting to know the truth. The president said 2 days ago they were about to release some classified UFO files, and Trump himself said, I've seen them. He said people are going to be quite surprised at what they're talking about.
And
what does that mean, Trump?
What if they get like the files, right? And it's this big hype, and then they open up the file book and it says nothing.
Yeah, if it's like Capone's vault. They have Geraldo open it up, and was that the most embarrassing thing that ever happened? Do you remember that? He did it live.
I remember that.
I remember
watching that.
It's a good TV stunt, though. He survived it.
It's just a blank sheet of paper. Return to sender.
Or the Epstein files.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the news today, too. The New York Times reported early this afternoon that somebody has discovered that there was an alleged suicide note. And we did not know about this said suicide note, that it's been, quote, locked up in a courthouse since his death. And we're just now hearing about a suicide.
Man, come on. You mean to tell me that you
had
someone forgot to, see what happened was I forgot that he had the suicide note. Man, I meant to put in the rest of the file in the Epstein files, but yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry.
Y'all, that didn't happen. Have they checked it against Hillary's handwriting? I mean, did they done a handwriting sample to see if the Hilda Bishop actually wrote that thing?
That would have been the first thing that would have been
gone
out.
Straight to her house.
Come on. Really? Y'all making it worse. Like,
I know.
Do they not understand when they do stuff like this how bad it looks? You think it's like, oh, we're gonna tether down these crazy kooks talking about Epstein files and this and that, and did he kill himself or he didn't kill himself?
Yep.
How long has he been like deceased? And now all of a sudden, y'all find a suicide note that y'all been just withholding all these years that y'all could have easily put out. That just caused more questions than answers. Like, come on.
Let me throw the other weird thing in the news today at you while we're doing this little segment. You ready? Have you heard about this J.P. Morgan vice president lady that apparently I'm trying to be delicate here. I know sometimes this time of day y'all got little ones in the car. The accusation, and it is really, really tawdry and disgusting stuff, is this guy of Indian descent who worked for J.P. Morgan. He was sort of a junior staffer. Claims that this woman, this vice president CEO, he named a woman, put her name out there. Her name is Lorna Hajdini. I don't know. That this guy's 35 years old. That she took him as her, can I say sex slave? I guess I can.
Boy toy.
Yes, that's a better way to put it. That she drugged him made him take male enhancement drugs, and plied him with liquor, and just treated him like her little. And he cried, and he didn't want to do it. And he's outing this VP, and it is all in the news. This poor woman is being drugged all over the internet. Now, I'll say,
you can't say poor woman, because if it was a dude who did that to some women,
right, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
But here's my take on it, AJ. I don't think there's anything true about this story at all.
Well, look, I was just about to.
I don't believe a word of it.
Well, I was about to say, bro, that's probably like a good time for a real dude, like a real baby. Like I get.
Look, I'm trying to be delicate here.
I know. That's what I'm watching what I'm going to say.
She's not an unattractive woman,
right?
And there is no way this woman needed this 35-year-old. His identity's now out, thank goodness, because I think she was being drugged through the mud. And the New York Post just put a story. The only reason I'm talking about it's more of a story about the internet and what it does to people in weird circumstances than it is this woman. Because I honestly think this has Jussie Smollett written all over it, everything about it. So he quotes her as saying this disgusting stuff to him. And unless this dude's got text messages or somebody to back that up, he is lying. There's a report that he was fired, and he just concocted the story to get back at J.P. Morgan. There are other reports that maybe whatever was going on was consensual, and he just flipped it into this to prove something to his wife. But he even makes fun of his wife in there. Claims that this VP called her a fish head, an Asian fish head. Nobody says that. She referred to herself as having cannons. Is there a woman anywhere in the audience that refers to their own parts as cannons? No, that did not happen. He made that up. So now they've outed.
Wait, he sounds like a dude who never got any.
Yes, he just came straight from a Star Wars convention, got online and ChatGPT a threat. Yes, no woman says that. This guy's lying his ass off. This is Jussie Smollett. They've outed him as 35-year-old.
37-year-old.
It says 35 in this story.
Oh, in the New York Post it says 37.
Okay, I'm looking at it. It says multiple sources told the Post that 35-year-old Charayu Rana, he's Indian. Have you seen his picture?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no woman making this. Look, AJ, look at this guy. Ain't no woman making this dude a sex slave.
Yeah, I'm looking at him.
This
right
guy
now.
couldn't pay for it. No woman wanted to dominate this guy. He's a pervert, and I think he made it up. So I believe the Post felt like they should go forward. He had the ability to remain anonymous as a John Doe while making all these salacious accusations. He put it in a lawsuit trying to shake down J.P. Morgan, who is sticking by their VP, by the way. They don't believe his story either. Then this woman's picture gets out this morning, and half the morning this morning, I'm scrolling the news, and I keep seeing this woman's face. I'm like, well, what's going on with J.P. Morgan? I stopped and finally read the story. I'm like, no, this didn't happen. AJ, I don't believe it. I am not believing it.
Yeah.
Not a word in it. You see this dude's face?
I'm looking at it.
Do you believe, and I'm being completely superficial here, but that woman wanted to do that with that guy?
Yeah, and that was the only time she's done that is with this dude. And you're right. It was 30. I was looking at it as she's the 37-year-old.
Yeah, she's 37. He's 35.
But no, because I'm looking at some of the words that we were using, and I can't say what he.
Yeah, you get. It's
I
so
can't
bad
say it.
You can't say it on the radio. Yeah,
but with some of the words, I'm like, there's no way.
No, it's too. The accusation is too neat. That was the problem with.
It's
Smollett's.
too mannish.
Exactly. The problem with Smollett's story was there's no way anybody associated with MAGA would be walking around on the street of Chicago at 2 a.m. Recognize him. He was an obscure actor. You have to be gay to watch that show anyway. Nobody's watching that show. And he's got a neatly tied little noose around his neck.
That he kept on.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he still had his tuna sandwich in his hand when he got home.
Yeah, no.
No. Nothing about that added up, and I get the same vibe on this thing. This dude either got caught because he went home and she's like, Rashnish, where have you been? You smell like that whore at work. And then he's like, but she made me. Mm-hmm. And then we are going to sue. And they sued J.P. Morgan.
Yeah.
Or he got fired and he's just trying to concoct a story to shake him down for some money. A little reverse discrimination kind of thing.
Yeah, because there's no way. There's no. I'm looking. He looks like a badly drawn caricature. You know, like when you go to the fair and you got the guy that would draw caricatures of you.
Oh, yes.
And you look normal, but then he makes you look like obscure. It looks like, that's what his face looks like. It looks like he's one of those caricatures. So I cannot see that. And then the stuff that he's saying, like, there's no way she said that.
Well,
not
okay.
like that.
I started glancing at the details of the story. The way the Post is reporting it is they agree with me. My gut was this is bull squeeze, right? And then, look, if this woman looked like that Katie Porter that's running for governor out in Texas, maybe. I'm just going to be real. This is the real world we're talking about, right? If she looked like that, the left tackle for the Washington Redskins, maybe. Not this dude.
But let's be honest. Any guy that has to deal with that,
yes.
You think he's going to say anything
No.
and put it in the publications
the
where the whole world's going to know. His boy's going to be like, dude, really? Like, you did that? Like, there's no way on this God's green earth that would happen.
And there were jokes all day today. There was one joke that showed Jamie Dimon, who runs J.P. Morgan, and this guy's whispering in his ear. He goes, job applications for men are up 600,000% today. It's a different accusation when it's men versus it just is.
Yeah.
Okay, and so now the Post is reporting that a former J.P. Morgan staffer, whose sources identified as Charu Rana, has been accused of making fabricated sexual harassment claims against this high-ranking executive. An internal investigation found no evidence of wrongdoing. So they would have something. They'd have text messages or emails or something. This woman doesn't appear to be stupid enough to write that kind of phraseology in a text message.
No, they'd have been like, no, this is what she writes. And they show her their text message that she says to them. She don't sound like that. She would never.
So nobody says, at least your didn't taste like curry. I mean, nobody says that. Did you read that part? Nobody says that. No woman is going to say that.
Is that hummus?
Oh, we're right on the edge right here. So he files this suit, went by John Doe. They slung this woman's name all over the internet. Now we're watching the fallout. So I think the Post feels good enough about the fact that they believe he made it up to go ahead and put his name out there. He doesn't get an anonymity protection and good. So they ought to countersue. I mean, J.P. Morgan could come down on him. He'll be back in India riding a little moped around with his sandals on when this thing's over. I'm sorry. Then he will smell like curry in a hurry. Isn't that a restaurant around here? I think there's a delivery place called Curry in a Hurry. True story. All right, 522, I got squirreled by that story. It's the dumbest thing of the day probably in the news. Besides Kay Ivey, this is the dumbest thing in the news today. Hey, let me talk to you about my buddy Michael down at Tapco. This is a service center. It's a repair shop. It's a place to take your ride and get things fixed, all the way from just your basic oil change to the high-end stuff, man. If you want to get better performance, or you got a weird light, something crazy is going on, car's driving you crazy, nobody can seem to fix it, Tapco knows what to do. But these guys, day in and day out, they will just take care of that ride, run through it for you. Say you're taking a vacation, you want to make sure everything's good to go. They're happy to do anything you need to make sure that car is safe and running well at peak efficiency. And Michael's a good guy. When as he put it, he and I were talking today, and he's like, a lot of service centers, people just dread going to them because it's kind of, they've got a nice lounge. It's a total professional setup. It's where you want to hang out if you're in there for a few minutes, or if you work near downtown, they've got a shuttle. They'll run you back to work, take care of your car for you, almost like a concierge, and get your car right back to you, and you're back on the road. I love their approach, their professionalism, their expertise. And here's a good deal for you. Right now, if you go in and say, I want the Leland discount, use my name. You're happy to drop my name. Tell them you know me from the show, and they'll give you 10% off all of their services. That's right. This is limited time. It's just an introductory sort of discount because they're pretty new to the show. This is where I would take every car we have. If I need something done, I'm taking it down to Tapco. These guys are great. 6th Avenue South, around the corner from just down the street, really, from our friends at Iron City. Go meet Michael and the whole team. It's tapcobham.com if you want to call them first. Get the address or set an appointment. TapcoBham.com. Back here in a minute. All right, y'all, get back in here. Check this out. Douglas Cooling and Heating bringing you the show tonight. I was just on with Jay and with my contractor and others. We got a project going on at the house, a little bit of an expansion, and Jay's going to do the heating and air at Douglas Cooling and Heating, and he's asking such detailed questions. I just thought he'd give me a general ballpark of what we need to do, but he wants to know very specific stuff about how that unit matches up. That's just how thorough they are at Douglas. They've taken care of every air conditioner thing I've needed for 17 years. Started with a new install, all those years ago, and then the maintenance work, second opinions on a house I was looking at, the seasonal maintenance that we should all be doing twice a year. By the way, if you haven't had your tune up for summer, get that done. It'll save you money. It will save you money in the long run and on your bills. And then, of course, emergency stuffs. I mentioned second opinions. They've got a plumbing side of the business. This is a great company. License number 2017181. It's calldouglas.com. Get them over to your house, get the tune-ups done, get the replacements done before it gets super hot and you're in line with everybody else whose systems will blow up in that 90-degree heat. Calldouglas.com. It's that simple. Calldouglas.com. Well, one of our state officials has finally made a move to get clarity from the Supreme Court. I want to salute this when we come back. This is good stuff. Stay tuned. Leland Live. All right, y'all, 434 Leland Live, Talk 905. Let's get my man Thomas in here at Stockton Mortgage and check in with them this afternoon. Thomas, how's it shaking, man?
Man, we had a great month this month, finishing out, and man, we just want to tell you some success stories. We had one of your listeners that we closed up a refinance for them, and man, they contacted us. They wanted to do some home improvements, and they gave us a call, and they had been listening for you guys for years, and we were able to get them closed up today, and we did a refinance. They had plenty of equity in their home, and that's one of the things we love doing when people contact us and they have home projects, and we work a plan where if they have plenty of equity, or if you don't have equity, we can also do a renovation loan. So if you have listeners out there that may want to update their kitchen or add on to their home, we have a plan available where we can do a renovation loan. So give us a call today. Let us sit down with you and put a plan together where we can do that home remodel. So give us a call, 205-859-8859, or savewithstockton.com.
Savewithstockton.com. Thomas, we appreciate you tonight, my friend.
Yes, sir, man. All right.
All right. This is big news to me, and I'd like to think we had a little bit of something to do with pushing this. But Wes Allen, our Secretary of State, he's running for Lieutenant Governor, has finally, somebody with our state government filed a motion with the Supreme Court to get some clarity over the conflict between the landmark ruling yesterday on race-based districts and the pending appeal we had over a map that was forced on us based on the race-based standard. Y'all seeing what I'm saying? Under one system, we were on appealing these federal judges forcing districts on us, which is what we have now. Then here comes the Supreme Court, wipes all that out. And the governor's response yesterday was, well, we're just going to let the appeal play itself out. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've always liked Steve Marshall, but he was not aggressive or prepared for this. He's running for Senate. Maybe he's focused on other things. He put out a vague statement about the state of things, and he recited a bunch of stuff that we already knew about the law, but he didn't take any action yesterday. And neither did the governor, for that matter. So our Wes Allen, who's our current Secretary of State, who has purview over the election, has been able to himself, through, I guess, their legal department and advisors, ask the court for clarity. Let me just read it to you here. It's a lot of legalese, but then I won't get anything wrong about this just came across, so I want to get to the language out to you. He filed a motion to expedite consideration of jurisdictional statement of this motion. I know that sounds redundant, but this is how you do those things. Pursuant to Supreme Court Rule 21, Secretary Wes Allen, in his official capacity as Alabama Secretary of State, and Senator Steve Livingston, Representative Chris Pringle, in their official capacities as Senate Chair and House Chair of the Alabama Permanent Legislative Committee on Reapportionment, that's the committee that draws the maps, respectfully move for expedited consideration of their jurisdictional statements in the case which is pending, which is Allen versus Singleton, and a case called Allen versus Milligan. They use Secretary of State's name as substituting for the state of Alabama. In light of this court's decision in Louisiana versus Calais, expedited consideration is necessary to afford Alabama the same opportunity as other states to use a lawfully enacted congressional map free of an injunction that cannot be reconciled with Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act as properly construed. Following this court's decision in Allen v. Mulligan, upholding the district court's preliminary injunction of Alabama in their 2021 map, the Alabama legislature enacted a new map in 2023. The 2023 map endeavored to fix the problems the court identified in Allen by keeping the black belt together to the fullest extent possible and by placing the 18 core counties into 2 districts and a unified Montgomery County. In Mulligan, the map also achieved the legislature's long-held policy of keeping 2 counties at the Gulf Coast together, giving their long history and combined interest. After the 2023 map was enacted, plaintiffs below moved to enjoin the new map, arguing that Section 2, that's the section that the court reinterpreted for the country yesterday. They didn't throw it out. Little side note for me, okay? The Voting Rights Act does not guarantee you outcomes in elections. It guarantees people's right to participate in the election, to vote. It doesn't guarantee you districts. If you're black, green, Hispanic, white, nobody gets to have their own race district. It's not what the whole thing was about. It was preventing people from denying folks the right to vote based on race. It's quite the opposite. You can't block people from enjoying their rights to have a say, but you don't have to draw people their special little districts. It's always been a fallacy. And it got repeated so much that it got almost institutionalized as if it was law, and it was never the law. The court clarified that, threw that nonsense out. We're back to fairness now. Districts that belong together. Black people still get to vote. Everybody gets to vote. Pick your candidate. If you're a black voter, you got to consider your options right now outside of race. If you're a black candidate, appeal to everybody. How about that? You can't just run on your race anymore and get your own little districts. It's not fair to everybody else in the country. Everybody has an identity. Let me repeat that. It's not as if some people don't have identities or concerns about that. There are all kinds of identities. Nobody gets special treatment. The 14th Amendment to this country requires equal treatment under the law. Race-based districts are not that. That's what the court threw out, okay? Let's go back to this filing. I don't mean to turn this into a legal show, but I've got some thoughts about Wes Allen after this. They go through their arguments that Alabama was doing everything it can to be in compliance based on the previous ruling. Let me skip down here, get you the last couple of sentences because it's going to be their actual request here at the end. After the 23 map was enacted, plaintiffs below moved to enjoin the new map. I covered that part. Here we go. The district court enjoined the 2023 plan anyway and imposed a court-drawn plan with a secondary majority minority district, all the while admitting that requiring such a second district would mean the legislature could not achieve its political goals, particularly the goal of keeping Mobile and Baldwin counties together. If you look at the map, they split Mobile and Baldwin County, which is ridiculous. That's the same area of the state. That ruling cannot be reconciled with Calais. It's a huge sentence. What happened yesterday with the Supreme Court, this is me talking now, cannot be reconciled with us being in court the other way. Contrary to this court's clear direction that if the plaintiff cannot disentangle race from the state's race-neutral considerations, including politics, then Section 2 cannot impose liability. The district court relieved the plaintiffs of that burden. We're asking that the district court relieve plaintiffs of that burden, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm looking at the clock and I'm going to run out of time. This thing's kind of lengthy. The last few lines are they respectfully ask the court to expedite the consideration of their pending and jurisdictional statements in their cases and their petition of writ of centuri, and then it gets into the legalese. Y'all, this should have been done yesterday afternoon. It was not done by our attorney general, and it was not done at the request of our governor, and the governor has no plan to call because they're being lazy. And Wes Allen has my respect for at least doing this as Secretary of State. He's got a role in this case. His name's on the case. It's what we need, the clarity. I don't know if the court will even react to it, but you got to take the action. You don't put out a damn statement like the governor did yesterday and say, well, we're just not in position to do it right now. Why? There are pending cases. No, you ask the court to do something about this conflict, and you do it with haste. I don't know if Allen has the authority to suspend the House races. His people are clearly listening. So my communication to all of them is they need to be looking at pausing the House races until this can be heard. Now that the filing is done, there's reason to do that. In Louisiana, for example, the governor declared they were going to redraw their maps, and immediately the Secretary of State today put a statement out. In their case, Secretary of State had the ability to suspend the primary, and the Secretary of State did that. That buys time to clear this stuff up. Then figure out if we can redraw. Then the governor has no choice but to call a session. They do the redraw. Then we go back to the primary. You have to start over and requalify. But they have been the keystone cops on this since this announcement came out. This thing came out yesterday about 10:30, I think. By the time I was on the air till 6 o'clock, nobody had done anything but put out a bunch of tough sounding statements with zero action. Let me just say this on a broader note. The voters that vote for Republican candidates are sick of this stuff. We're sick of John Thune. We're sick of the Cornyn's of the world. We're sick of the Kay Ivies. We're sick of the do-nothings. You got to get the ball and go. You know how we got here? You know how we got to all these gerrymandered snake districts? The Democrats ain't afraid to fight. They went to court. They drew these maps by force. They pulled a gun on every state they could pull the gun on using race as a component and drew their maps. And now that the court said that's wrong, you got to be just as aggressive to make the maps palatable and constitutional again. And you can't sit here and punt the football on third down and decide you're just not going to try. But that's exactly what our 81-year-old governor, who I believe is just going to take naps from now to January and wait on Tommy Tuberville to come move the furniture in. It's an embarrassment. The whole country reacted to the states that are stuck, and now our Secretary of State's made a move. It took him a full day to do it, but good for him. I don't even know who else is running for lieutenant governor, but he's got my respect. I'm sure we'll have him on to talk about this, but he's still doing his job. He's out there running, but he's doing his job. The others did not do their job. And I'd have to throw, I'm just going to say it, I got to throw Catherine Robinson into that group too. She's in the AG's office. She and Steve Marshall both put statements out yesterday and didn't do a damn thing. They're in the AG's office. They got the power to do something. I mean, where were you when we needed you, politicians? When the house is on fire, I need you there helping us put the house fire out. Now, I don't need another damn statement. I don't need more TV commercials talking about how you're the second coming and you'll fight for Alabama values. Because I'm a Christian and I have a gun and I love Jesus. And here's my flag. And I hang out with farmers. And let me shoot this gun. Blam. Alabama values. I'm a fighter. We will fight for you. I'm a fighter. They don't do crap. Hueytown Pawn. Next up on the show. I was out on my walk today and I saw a Larry Moore trailer. I said, there's a Larry Moore trailer. Maybe you pronounce it Laura Moore. They're made here in Alabama, and they've got them at Hueytown Pawn. They had the exact same trailer I saw this morning. Good looking, single axle, get a lot of stuff done with that. Tow it with anything you got and move things around. If you don't have a truck, you need one of these. If you got a truck, you may need some easier to load space. They've got them right now. The lowest price is $14.99. And you know what they'll do for you at Hueytown Pawn? They'll finance you. That's cool. You can get financing, take it out the door, hitch it up and go. You're ready for the summer and all the things you need to get done with your trailer. Haul your golf carts and your bicycles and your side-by-sides and your lawnmowers with these nice, good-looking, well-built trailers, Alabama-built trailers at Hueytown Pawn over on Brook Lane Drive. Back here in just a minute. All right, man, I got to play some catch up here so we can get out of here. Axiom Tax Resolution Group. Next up, that's Perry Cronin. If you are struggling with how you're going to pay that tax bill, did you file an extension? Are you worried about it? It's just a lot. Y'all let Perry help. He can help get you settled, even for money you actually owe. Sometimes the IRS will come after you and think you owe something you don't really owe it, and you got to prove your case. It's the one time under our legal system and our government system where you're guilty until proven innocent. So you better have good representation. But sometimes you actually do owe the money, but don't know, and the IRS is not going to tell you about programs to let you settle for less. That's where Perry comes in. He knows the programs that'll help you settle for less, like the Clean Start Initiative. He also knows the rights that protect you from harassment, so you can hold them off and get this thing settled so you can sleep at night. It's intimidating. They know that, and that's why they do it. They want their money. When Perry gets engaged, all that stops, and you get a settlement, and then you go on with your life, because there'll be another tax filing next year. It's Axiom Tax Resolution Group. He's local, and he knows more about this stuff than anybody out there, and it's just great to have somebody with this expertise right here with us. Axiom Tax Resolution Group. All right, now we got more clarity from the governor now that we've seen this West Allen filing. Apparently, the governor's giving credit to Steve Marshall for also filing. I haven't seen any kind of releases from Steve Marshall, but suddenly we got action. Y'all, the hell raising we've done since yesterday is paying off. We've moved these people forward. Kay Ivey just put this statement out, applauding Attorney General Steve Marshall and Secretary of State Wes Allen for quickly filing. They said quickly. It took them 24 hours. Emergency motions at the Supreme Court regarding Alabama's redistricting case. This is a quote from the governor. As I have said time and time again, ain't no step too high for a high stepper. No, she didn't say that. She said, Alabama knows our state and our people and our districts better than the federal courts or an activist group. I remain hopeful that Alabama receives a favorable ruling from the Supreme Court. Governor Kay Ivey. You just got to look at the heat that was coming at Montgomery since yesterday has paid off. This is good. This is response. You got to give them credit where credit's due. They're moving now. They're moving now because we were not going to sit back as a people and just sit around till 2030, as the governor implied yesterday, and just let these unconstitutional districts sit. You got to try. That I'm telling you, if they're listening, and I think they are, the next thing is to suspend the freaking primary tomorrow. So you're outside of a 2-week window in the House races while you wait on clarity. Now, it could be the court comes back at 9 o'clock in the morning and boom, we're done. Or they could take them weeks. It's the Supreme Court. They do what they want. You can't rush them. You don't know. They're dealing with a lot of stuff. But they need to suspend those elections and punt them until there's clarity on which way the districts are going to be, and then reset the elections. You don't have to do all of the primary. Just do the House races. The ones in question, any kind of districting that is applicable to the new standard. I can see that from here because I'm 2015. And I've been 2015 for going on 7 years because I went to Michelson Laser Vision and got LASIK. Y'all, it was a miracle. It really was. That is not an overstatement. It's not hyperbole. Being able to get up off that table after a 45-minute procedure that didn't hurt, just looked at a blinky light. Things got dark, then things got light again. Then I looked out the window and went, whoa. Even with all those drops and stuff I have in my eye from the surgery, I was looking out the window going, I can see with my own eyes. I've not been able to do that in 30 years. And it's been the same. I'm still 2015. Michelson Laser Vision, the pioneer of the laser in Alabama, the latest technology, the sweetest, kindest, most competent staff anywhere. They'll just take care of you and get you in and out. They don't waste your time, make you sit around all day. If you're curious, you just don't know, maybe you're just squishy, go try it. At least go educate yourself. Don't just be squishy because you're squishy. Be squishy for a reason. If you go through their program and you're still squishy, okay, fine. But if you're like me, I was squishy. Your light bulb's going to go off and you're going, okay, this makes sense. I'd love to see better. See if I can do the procedure. And if you're medically eligible, could change your life. Michelson Laser Vision, downtown UAB Highlands, MichelsonLaserVision.com. Greg is up next on a cell phone. What's up, Greg?
Good afternoon. Hope
Hey, man.
you've had a good day and all of your rabble rousing,
It's been a lot.
stirring up things. Man, just take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
You got the rest of the night off, brother.
Yep.
Oh, it was a sad day to hear about David Allen Coe.
I know it.
Dude was 86, though. I mean,
Hey, that's a
But,
pretty full life,
there's no doubt. And as far as Outlaws, he was the real deal. He was not one of these dime store cowboys. He was for real. But to me his greatest contribution to country music is the working man's anthem. Take this job and shove it.
Yeah, AJ played that earlier. That is the anthem of
Yeah.
all time for sure, for everybody that quits.
There's no doubt about it. And have Johnny Paycheck sing it. If you ever read George Jones' autobiography, I Live to Tell It All, times when Johnny Paycheck was in George Jones' band, that they would get off that big old Silver Eagle rolling down the highway so drunk and fist fighting, they'd have to stop and just put them off the bus and let them get it out of their system for a while.
Legends. Nowadays, the country singers fight
Absolutely.
over how tight their jeans are and who got the most soy in their latte.
Don't even. All right. Have a good rest of your day. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, bro. Now they're fighting over their pronouns. Who gets to use the voice processor tonight? It ain't the same. It ain't the same. What a day. What a week. Who knows what tomorrow brings? I'm going to go watch my boys in Cattle throw down downtown in Lakeview. Y'all come on. And then we'll see you again in 2 weeks. May 15th, Jawbone Jam. If you miss it, you're going to hurt my feelings. Don't be reaching out to me on social media telling me why you can't come. If you can't come, just keep it to yourself. I want to hear from people that are coming. I want to know who's going to come. Tickets are only $40. You can get them at Ticketmaster.com or at Iron City's website, ironcity.com. Man, Alabama Bath, they've got some new changes coming this year that I'm excited about. I just won't let me tell you yet. Right now, they're still getting it done for you as they have for 40 years. If you need a tub shower replacement because you got an old janky, slippery, scary tub shower combo system in your house that's just out of date, get it up to date and change it. It does. It's life-changing for somebody that's losing a step or slowing down or got some mobility issues to feel secure and get clean. Best part of your day. Get your thoughts back and not have to have any help doing it. This is what they specialize in at Alabama Bass. Let them come give you an estimate, give you the best price, the best product, the best installers. Good local company, alabamabass.com. Y'all reach out to them, alabamabass.com. We'll see y'all tomorrow at 2. Stay tuned for Breaking Bread.
Goodbye, AJ.